Welcome back. How are you feeling today? So this morning I'm just breathing into the beautiful information that I received this morning. This morning I just had a mind-blowing moment that I wish to share and hope that it blows minds away. Many of you will have your mind blown today and you'll go into your day feeling so expansive and so grateful for this life. This, for me, has been one of the most beautiful messages I have received so far. I was talking to one of my friends that lives overseas, and she sent me this message, and she was feeling frazzled. And in the message, it was about her childhood trauma and when is it ever over? You know, she's so over being triggered and getting upset about things that take her back to moments in her childhood. And as I'm listening to this message, I remember so many times having this conversation with my beautiful mother-in-law. Because most times when I have issues that come up about my mum and the relationship I have with my mum, I always talk to her about it. I don't know why, she's my go-to. When it comes to talking about my mum, my mother-in-law is usually my go-to. And she usually comes up with the most beautiful wisdom for me, you know, that helps me through that moment. But with her, I have had this conversation so many times of when is it over? When do you stop suffering childhood trauma? When is it healed? You know, because since my daughter was born, I've been doing so much work around this, around my relationship with my mum, around my childhood trauma, all the things I've been through, you know. And then today, the most beautiful information came up for me to share with this beautiful friend. And here, I'm going to share it with you now today. This whole time, all these years, I thought it was about healing our childhood trauma. That's what this life was about. And if you could heal it, or once you healed it, your life is complete. Your life's a rainbow. There's nothing else to do but to live in peace and love and joy and harmony. But then this was the information that came through today. In our natural state, when we are not here on earth having this human experience, outside of this simulation, in our natural state, we have all the information of the universe. All of it is already within you. All the information. Now, this would be similar to you being here, being human, and owning every single recipe book that's ever been published. Your house is filled with all these recipe books. You have all the information of how to cook every single piece of food. Everything. You know how to cook all of it. You have every single book that's ever been published, that's ever been created. You have all the information. But until you pull out one of those books off the shelf and you take it to the kitchen and you actually cook something from one of those recipe books and you sit down and you eat it, you taste it, what does it taste like? All of those books that you have are information, but they're just concepts. How to make apple pie, how to cook roast pork, how to make pumpkin soup, concepts. And you open up the books regularly and you read them. That sounds interesting. That sounds fascinating. That sounds good. But until you take one of those books to a kitchen, open up to a page, and try out one of the recipes, and you sit at a table with this beautiful meal prepared in front of you and you eat it, what does it taste like? This is what the soul is here to do. The soul has all this beautiful information within, concepts, ideas. But until it comes here to have a human experience, what is it like to have your very first kiss? What is it like to have sex for the first time? What is it like to hold your newborn baby? What is it like to carry the baby within you for 9 months? What is it like to have a chocolate ice cream? What is it like to stand in the ocean? The waves lapping on your body. What does it feel like? That is what the soul is here to do. Turn concept, idea, information into knowing. What does that feel like? And all those experiences that we had in childhood, as traumatic as they were, as I was listening to my friend's message from overseas, I had this strong vision of this tapestry of life. And every part that we get to experience gets woven into this beautiful tapestry. Every part. It's not about healing any part of it. All these years, that's what I thought it was about. It's not about healing any of it. It's about what does it feel like to go through that. And that's that little part of my tapestry in that right-hand corner. There's my childhood right there. That's part of that tapestry. And so every time something comes up that triggers us, makes us angry, makes us upset, makes us afraid, and it reminds us of the things we've been through in our childhood. It is a beautiful reminder of our beautiful tapestry. It's not about healing it and it goes away. That is now a part of us. It's no longer information. It's no longer a concept. That is now knowledge. Because we've experienced it, we know within every cell of our being what that feels like. We know what it feels like to have that first kiss. We know what it feels like to give birth to our first child. We know what it feels like to be physically abused when you're little, to feel that you have no power to stop what's going on. And all the things we've come to experience, everything in between. Without the experience, the soul cannot know itself more fully. It just has a concept, an idea, information. But until the soul comes and it has all these beautiful experiences and it knows firsthand, oh, that's what that feels like now. I know because I've been through it. And this beautiful tapestry takes many lifetimes to complete. Because it's not about, we've talked about this in previous videos, but it's important to bring it back up here. With each event that we go through, it's not about just experiencing one side of it. You can't have a full picture if that's all you've had, one experience. So let's go with an easy experience so it doesn't trigger too many people. Say in this lifetime, you've been cheated on by your partner in this lifetime, and that is part of your tapestry now up there. It's been woven into your tapestry. In a previous lifetime, you cheated on that partner, and that's another part of your tapestry over there. And in other lifetimes, you've come in and you've been the one that they cheated on. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're together, but in this new lifetime, you are now the person that they cheat with, if you know what I mean. So you're on this angle now. So it's not just about these two, but it's what's it like if I'm the one that's taking that person away. There's so many different angles for the same experience, so many different perspectives of how we can look at it. Not just the one-on-one, not just that. I mean, with people I've spoken to about sexual abuse over the years, doing all the healings, yes, there's the child that is sexually abused by the adult. And many, when they grow up, turn into that adult that keeps abusing. So they get to see both sides of it. They get to see what it's like being the child being abused, and they get to see what it's like being the adult doing the abusing. So there's two sides of it. But are they the only two people in the house? Are they the only two beings? Usually there's a partner that's either aware or not aware of what's going on. What does this experience look like from their point of view? Usually there are siblings. What does it look like from their point of views? There are so many different angles to have a particular experience. And that tapestry is not complete until all of those facets, all of those different experiences are known within you. They're known. They're no longer concepts, but we know them within us. You know, a while back I shared on one of my videos, when my little one was born, I found myself yelling at her in the first 4 years. And to me, that experience was so valuable because I got to see, firstly, that my yelling had nothing to do with her. My yelling at her never had anything to do with what she did. It was my frustrations. Financially, I was struggling and I would get frustrated and then I would take it out on her. But the beauty of it was, I used to hate my mother yelling at me. I hated it. But I got to understand why she did it, because I was doing it. And when I understood why I was doing it, then I could understand what my mum was going through. Different angles. Being on the side where you're the one being yelled at constantly. And you're like, oh, here she comes again yelling at me, and you're this tiny little thing and this big person yelling at you. Instilling all this fear within you that you've done something wrong. You don't know what it is, but you've done something wrong. And then you grow up and you become the one that yells. Why? To know what it feels like. Because I know for me, when I was the one doing the yelling, it felt awful. I felt awful inside. One day I even went upstairs and I found my daughter all curled up in a ball. Almost like in a fetal position, like I just want to go back, you know? And that was the moment for me when I found her up there like that, that I took a step back and I thought, wait a minute. I thought to myself, what am I doing here? I swore that I would never yell at my kids, and yet here I was. And it was in that moment that I thought, okay, why am I yelling? Because I know it's not her, but she's being affected. And then I started to look back at why I was yelling, and it had to do with my finance situation and my frustrations of not being able to get on top of it. And in that moment that I had that aha moment, because I sat and I asked, why am I doing this? Why? And when you ask, no request goes unanswered. There will always be a way for you to receive an answer. It'll either be in the next thing your partner says, on the next thing that you see, maybe on a Facebook post. The answer will come as long as you really, with all your heart, want an answer to the question. If you're open to receiving that answer, no matter what that answer is going to be, then the answer will come. It will always find you when you ask, when you really, really ask, why am I doing this? Why is this happening? So this is the journey of the soul. It was never about healing any of it. This was the discovery I made this morning. And I was so excited to be here today to share this. It was never about healing any of it. It's about understanding that we are here turning concept, turning ideas, turning information into knowledge. And how can you know something within yourself? How can you know? You can go to the kitchen and cook up a beautiful meal and it smells delicious. But how do you know if it's delicious? How do you know? If you cook it and take a photo of it and put it up on Facebook, is that enough? Do you know then? Oh, it's delicious for sure, because the photo looks amazing. Think about it. How do you know for sure? You have to taste it. It's that simple. The experience of tasting it turns the concept of it looks amazing and the recipe sounded amazing into knowledge. Oh, this is amazing. Why? I know because I ate it. I tasted it. I know firsthand that it's amazing. And life is like that all the way through. How do we know? Because we have to experience it. Experience turns it into knowledge. And that's what we're here for. The knowledge that we gather from all these beautiful experiences. That is what the soul is doing here. All right, my beautiful beings. It's what the soul is asking all the time. What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? Until you experience it firsthand, you can't know for sure. So I hope this has opened a beautiful door for you, that whatever you've been through in your life is perfect. It is what your soul came to experience. And it's not about healing it. It's about having the gratitude in your heart that we could experience it that all of this is here for us to experience it. All of this is made possible for you. This beautiful earth, this beautiful simulation, all the beings that are in your life right now, assisting you on your journey, assisting you in your experience, playing their beautiful roles for you. All right, my beautiful beings. Please, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And have a blessed, blessed day. We love you dearly. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And we'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.